Welcome back, students. Today we are going to see the books of prime entry, chapter 3. Under that, we are going to focus on the double entry system of bookkeeping. So as the name suggests, double means two. So this system of bookkeeping has twofold effect. So this double entry system is scientific and complete system of recording and maintaining the books of accounts. So as I told you, double entry has a twofold effect. Every transaction has twofold effect. One is the debit aspect, the other one is the credit aspect. So debit aspect is the receiving aspect and credit aspect is the giving aspect. So the basic principle of double entry is that for every debit there must be an equivalent and corresponding credit and vice versa. So when you receive something, you have to give an equal amount. That is the concept behind the double entry system of bookkeeping. So under the double entry system of bookkeeping, debit denotes an increase in assets or expenses or decrease in liabilities, income or capital. So the receiving aspect, which denotes increase in assets or expenses and decrease in liabilities, income or capital. And the giving aspect, the credit, which denotes an increase in liabilities, income or capital and decrease in assets or expenses. So now let us look into the definition of double entry system given by J.R. Botley. Every business transaction has a twofold effect, and that it affects two accounts in opposite directions, and if a complete record is to be made of each transaction, it is necessary to debit one account and credit another account. It is this recording of the twofold effect of every transaction that has given rise to the term double entry. So Botley he says that every business transaction. So what is meant by transaction? Any financial activity which involves money or money's worth is called as a business transaction. So every transaction, every financial activity has a twofold effect. You will have one person giving the benefit and the other person receives the benefit, right? So the receiving aspect is called as the debit aspect and the giving aspect is called as the credit aspect. So for every transaction, it has two accounts involved in it. So one aspect is the debit aspect, the other aspect is the credit aspect, right? So if one account is debited, automatically the other one will be credited. This is the definition given by J.R. Botley. So now let us move on to the advantages of double entry system. The first point is that accuracy, it maintains that. So as every transaction recorded into the books of accounts are twofold, you have a debit aspect as well as a credit aspect. So for every debit there will be an equal and corresponding credit and vice versa. So you can easily check the accuracy of your accounts. When we prepare the trial balance, we will know if the trial balance tallies. You can say that your books of accounts are accurate. But there are certain limitations even when some items are not recorded in the trial balance. You have errors. So we'll come back to that point later. But as of now, under the double entry system of bookkeeping, you can check the accuracy of your accounts. The ascertainment of business results. So details regarding the expenses, losses, incomes and gains, assets, liabilities. So all these are readily available. So this helps to ascertain the net profit earned or loss incurred during an accounting period. And it helps us to know the exact financial position on a particular date. The next one is comparative study. So the business results of the current year can be compared with the previous year. This is regarding the intra-firm comparison. Within the firm, you can compare the current year to that of the previous year. And you can also do inter-firm comparisons, comparison with other business firms. So this facilitates the business planning for future. Last point is common acceptance. So the business records maintained under this system are accepted by the financial institutions and government. Why? Because it is a systematic and scientific system of bookkeeping. Tax authorities will accept only when the books are maintained under the double entry system of bookkeeping. So transactions, as you all know, any financial activity that involves a transfer of money or money's worth is called as a transaction. So transactions can be cash transactions, bank transactions and credit transactions. So when you either make a payment immediately or receive immediately, either cash, or you call that as cash transaction. Bank transactions are those which includes cash deposited into bank, cash withdrawn from bank. So income of the business directly received by the bank. So when the customer pays through online point of sale, right, where they use their debit card or credit card, or they make transfers through NEFT, National Electronic Fund Transfer, NEFT. So or through RTGS, all these comes under the bank transactions. So any income of the business directly received by the bank, or the customer may directly deposit the money into the seller's bank account. Receipts through cash deposit machine, CDM. So it is just like an automated teller machine wherein you can deposit cash without any manual interference of the bank people, bank employee. So there is no need to fill any deposit slips. So it is just like ATM machine that allows depositing cash directly into your customer's account or whoever it is. So without any manual intervention of the bank employee. So payment made by customers through debit card, credit card, net banking, National Electronic Fund Transfer, that is NEFT, then real time gross settlement, RTGS, or any payments made through check. So all these things comes under bank transaction. And credit transaction, as you all know, there is no immediate payment or receipt of money. It is called as a credit transaction. So I hope you understand more about the bank transactions now. Approaches of recording transactions. So you can record transactions using accounting equation approach or the traditional approach. First, let us look into the accounting equation approach. So accounting equation is a mathematical expression, so which shows that the total of assets is equal to the total of liabilities. So when we talk about liabilities, it is referred as the outsider's equity, and capital is the owner's equity. So accounting equation, asset is equal to capital plus liability. So assets is equal to capital plus liabilities. So as the revenues and expenses affect the capital, you can expand the equation. The expanded equation will be assets is equal to, from the capital you have to add the revenue and deduct the expenses, and then comes the liabilities. You have to add the liabilities. This is the expanded equation. In general, we use assets is equal to capital plus liabilities. This is the accounting equation. So based on the accounting equation, we will now do the first exercise problem. Fourth Roman letter, exercise problem number 1, complete the accounting equation. So all of us know about the accounting equation, right? So assets is equal to capital plus liabilities. The first problem, assets 1 lakh, capital 80,000, and they have asked us to find out the liabilities. So it is just like a linear equation. So you are going to take the liabilities to the other side. So liabilities is equal to asset minus capital. 1 lakh minus 80,000, rupees 20,000 will be your liability. The next one, assets 2 lakh, liabilities 40,000, and we need to find out the capital. So capital is equal to assets minus liabilities. So 2 lakh minus 40,000, capital will be 1 lakh 60,000. So when two items are given, we can easily find out the third one. The next one, assets is equal to capital plus creditors. So we have to find out the asset. So assets is equal to capital plus creditors. 1 lakh 60,000 plus 80,000. Assets is equal to 2 lakh 40,000.